welcome back to our channel. I'm Steph.
And I am Michelle, and this is episode 5 of our basement renovation one room challenge.
And today we're going to show you how to install a laminate floor on concrete.
The day has finally come. We are ready to get this flooring installed. We chose this AquaGuard. We got it at Floor & Decor. And see, waterproof, wood-based laminate, perfect for the basement. So what's kind of nice about these laminate planks is that it comes with all these different layers already built on the plank, so we don't have to install multiple layers of product. So should be really good stuff.
If you're looking to install your laminate flooring on top of concrete like we are down in our basement, the first thing you'll want to do before getting started on the actual install is to use a 4-foot level and just go around the entire area and check for levelness. So there were some spots we had to use a grinder to get it a little bit lower, and then other areas you may need to fill in with a little bit of self-leveling cement. So just make sure you're working with a level surface before you begin. After everything is level and ready to go, you'll want to just run a vacuum over the surface to make sure you are working with a clean surface. If you're installing in a space that has already been finished, you can remove the baseboards if you want, or you can just butt it up to the baseboards and then install a quarter round butting up to the base afterward. Since we are working on an unfinished basement, we don't have the baseboards up yet, but they will go on afterward to complete the flooring. Even though the laminate we chose to install has a pad installed on it already, we are also installing a vapor barrier. Cement is just a porous substrate, and moisture can eventually seep up through the concrete and get into the atmosphere of the space. So we are using this blue underlayment with a vapor barrier to keep the moisture from getting into our flooring. The vapor barrier was super easy to install. In fact, ours came with a flap that unfolded on one side and had an adhesive strip on the other. So we really just butted the two edges of the blue underlayment together, opened up that white flap, and then pulled off the strip for the adhesive and stuck it together. Now, there were areas of the underlayment where we needed to butt the two ends together, and this did not have this attached adhesive. So on those areas, we just made sure that it was butted up nice and tight together, and then we placed some packaging tape over the top to hold the seam together.
When we got to the other side of the room, we were easily able to just fold the underlayment up against the wall and run a utility knife at the edge of the floor to cut it perfectly to fit the rest of our floor.
Once all of the prep work has been completed, the underlayment has been installed, there are several supplies that you'll want to have on hand to make this process go more smoothly. First, you'll want to use a flooring pole bar with a rubber mallet. You'll want a chop saw, table or circular saw, a multi-tool, measuring tape and pencil, and also a speed square and or a framing square.
It's also recommended to use at least 3 boxes of laminate at a time so you can pull and mix the colors from each box as you install for uniformity.
The laminate we're using has this tongue and groove, which makes installation really easy.
Be sure to leave an expansion gap around the perimeter of your flooring. This will be covered by the trim later. This will just allow for any movement in the floor with expansion and contraction when the weather changes. Starting in the left corner of the room, we are just being really careful to make sure that this first run of laminate floor is square. You don't want to get halfway through the floor and realize that it's a little ski-wumped and not square anymore. So just be sure to take your time on this first row, and all of the other rows should fall into place as well. Per the instructions with our laminate, we were to join the short end of the laminate piece together, and then at about a 45-degree angle, we were able to put the tongue and groove together on the long side of the board. And we're using a scrap of our flooring so that we can hammer that, using it as a sacrificial piece to preserve the tongue and groove on the flooring, because you don't want to damage that as you're going. And we have a spacer underneath as well, just to help keep it at that 45-degree angle while we're installing the row. Once the row is all connected, we'll pull those out and snap it down into place. We are using our chop saw for most of the cuts for this installation, and you'll want to keep both pieces of the laminate because you can use the end piece that you trim off to start the new row, so there will be less waste that way, and it will also help you with staggering your joints. After each row has been installed, you'll want to take the pull bar and snug all of the joints together. We also went down the length of the installed floor and just hammered at the joints again as well, just to make sure that everything was nice and square before we installed the next row. Once we got to the edge of our cabinetry, we did need to use our table saw so that we could make this cut. You could also use the multi-tool there, but using just the chop saw alone is probably not going to cut it for a trickier cut like that. We also used the multi-tool to trim the door jambs to the right height. To do this, we placed a scrap of our flooring on the cement and just rested the multi-tool on top, which gave us the perfect height to cut the door jamb down. If you can recruit some other helping hands, it does make this process go a lot quicker as well. We were installing a very large amount of square feet, so many hands made the work a lot lighter. Continue with the same process for the remaining area of your floor and you'll be finished before you know it. Again, it does go quicker with more hands, but there was also a day where I worked on it by myself and was able to knock out quite a few rows in an afternoon. To maintain the integrity of the waterproof floor, the manufacturer does suggest running a bead of caulk around the perimeter of the flooring before installing the baseboards. So we did do that, and then to wrap up the installation, we installed our baseboards all around the perimeter, and it is so pretty. We're so happy with the way this looks, and installation really was pretty simple. It did take a while because we had such a large amount of square feet we were installing, but just take your time and you will have great success installing your own floor as well. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you were able to learn a little bit from this video. And if you missed any of our previous episodes in this one room challenge, go check them out. The link is in the description below. And subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Thanks for being here. And as always, here at Sunnyside Design, we hope to bring your home to the sunny side of the street.